stuck on you well.
And got all us, the Wildcats were all in smart suits, you know, we all looked like a bunch of bloody bank clerks, you know.
He was larger than anything, Marty. I mean, he was a pro. He wanted to be great at his job, you know. He had massive energy. He sort of took over the stage, you know. He was the best of all of them.
Teenager in Love went on to become Marty's biggest hit.
Each night I ask the stars up above, why must I be a teenager in love?
But nowadays people have roadies and they get their kit set up and everything's mic'd, you know. But in those days, you'd get to a place, set up, and then you go and find digs. He was in the posh hotel with a bath. Oh, he was a star, and still is.
He was always that little bit aloof, you know.
Okay, come and get it. It's so boy!
I think Marty on the Oh Boy show was the best thing on it. When I look back at some of the clips, I think I look like a fairly greasy slob, to be honest with you. But Marty looked really cool.
So Simon Naaman became a star, having a ball with my guitar, driving a big long Cadillac and fighting the girls off my back.
Picking the chicks off of my back, and it was just great, and he acted it well, and I thought, God, he's really good. And I remember my father once actually saying to me, yeah, why don't you sing more like Marty Wilde? And I kept thinking, oh. I know what he meant, though. Marty had an aggression which I didn't have to start with. I think Jack brought that out in me.
When Cliff joined Oh Boy, Cliff had been nowhere. Marty, on the other hand, had had several records out. He'd done everything.
Early in the morning, one of these days.
In those days, as a rock and roll singer in Britain, you had to grow up pretty quick. And Marty was the old pro. And Marty was wonderful. He supported Cliff. He encouraged Cliff. He told Cliff how much he liked Move It, the record. And they got on wonderfly well.
I think Jack was one of the biggest influences in all of our lives. Very much like this, you know. Hello, Marty, how are you? You know. Right, and what I want you to do is I want you to hold your head this way, and then I want you to move that and watch when the camera light goes on there. Then when that's good, and flick across, the light will go on there, and the camera will hit you here. I want your head to be...
You cut to two on a close-up for the verse following. So don't jig about too much, all right?
There's no guesswork in that show. That you know exactly what you're doing. And that discipline stayed with me to this day.
Marty and I were lucky. We were singled out by Jack to be the leaders each week. So one week I would do it, and one week Marty would do it. And yeah, there was competition in that respect, but not personally. You know, we got on fine.
Hans withdrew Marty from Oh Boy, where he'd been absolutely on top of everything in the rock and roll world. He thought that perhaps I was treating Cliff Richard better than Marty, and sent him off to the south of France for a holiday, leaving Cliff there by himself, conquering the world.
Beautiful days lost in her eyes.
There are quite a few songs that if you said to them, oh, Marty Wilde wrote that, you'd go, no, did he?